Have you ever looked in the mirror and felt like you weren't enough? What if the voice telling you that you're worthless isn't telling the truth at all? According to psychology, people who hate themselves usually aren't seeing reality. They're seeing years of painful experiences through a distorted mental lens. Let's uncover the hidden psychology behind self-hatred. 1. They have an extremely harsh inner critic. Some people make one mistake and move on. Others replay that same mistake for years. Psychologists call this negative self-talk, the habit of constantly criticizing yourself. Over time, this inner voice becomes so loud that people start believing every negative thought as if it were a fact. 2. They often grew up with constant criticism. Children learn how to see themselves through the way important people treat them. If someone repeatedly experienced harsh criticism, rejection, humiliation, or impossible expectations, they may eventually internalize those messages and believe something must be wrong with me. Not everyone with this experience develops self-hatred, but it can increase the risk. 3. They compare themselves to everyone else. Social media makes comparison almost effortless. When people constantly measure their lives, appearance, or achievements against carefully selected highlights from others, they may begin to feel inadequate. Psychology shows that frequent upward comparison can reduce self-esteem and life satisfaction. 4. They mistake failure for identity. Healthy thinking says, I failed at this task. Self-hatred says, I am a failure. This is a common cognitive distortion, turning one setback into a judgment about your entire worth as a person. 5. They struggle to accept their imperfections. Many people believe they must be perfect to deserve love or respect, but perfection doesn't exist. The more impossible your standards become, the more likely you are to feel disappointed with yourself. 6. They ignore their strengths. The human brain naturally notices threats and problems more than positives. When someone already has low self-esteem, this tendency becomes even stronger. They remember every criticism but quickly dismiss compliments, achievements, and personal strengths. 7. Healing begins when they challenge their thoughts. One of the most effective psychological approaches is learning to question automatic negative thoughts rather than accepting them as facts. Self-hatred is not an unchangeable personality trait. With support, healthier thinking patterns, and time, many people learn to develop greater self-acceptance and self-respect. If you struggle with self-hatred, remember this. The way you feel about yourself today is not always an accurate reflection of who you are. Sometimes it's a reflection of the experiences you've been through, the beliefs you've learned, or the standards you've placed on yourself. And those beliefs can change, because your past may explain how you see yourself, but it doesn't have to define your future. What's one negative belief about yourself that you've decided you're no longer willing to believe? Share your thoughts in the comments.